So I googled Halo cake and saw this helmet and decided that I could make a cake that looked like the helmet. How hard can it be, right? There's no chance that a box cake was going to be able to make this, so I googled it and figured out that I needed a wask cake, white almond sour cream, which is dense enough to carve, perfect for a cake that's going to look like a Halo helmet. So make the cake like the recipe says. As you can see here, I mixed it all up. I will say that it rises, so as you can see here, my bonehead mistake was letting it rise too high. I then put it in the freezer because I knew I was going to have to freeze it to carve it. Alright, here's the masterpiece. I've obviously made 2 cakes. Sort of looks like 4 cakes, but this and this is one big long cake that I cut in half. And this is one of those little short square pans, and this is the top of it, of the one in the short square pan. And then I put a little frosting between the layers to make them stick. Now I have to figure out how to turn this odd shape into what I'm making. So I'm looking at this picture, and I'm thinking that I think it's not going to be very wide. What do you think, hon? I don't think that this helmet is going to be able to be very wide. I think it's going to be tall and odd.
Tall and odd?
Well, I think it's going to have to be narrow.
Well, you're looking at this at a side angle. If you look at it like this, it looks just as wide. It is more narrow, and it's this way.
Alright, so that's the way it will be. It's going to be this way. So this is what the back of it looks like, at least when I first started. But then I realized something. Something went wrong. You know what? I already made a mistake. And I just started. How do I? Oh, this is the most annoying sound ever. Alright, this is my basic shape. I replaced the 8-inch one in the middle because of this narrower part of the helmet. Although I can't imagine that's going to help me that much.
Hungry yet? Either you and Dad? Lots of cake, lots of biscuits and gravy.
So this is our basic shape. The cake has gotten quite crumbly. So I do believe I have to put it back in the freezer. Not positive, but pretty sure. Alright, so I put the cake back in the freezer. And I have this pile of scraps. I took out the big ones and put them in the freezer. I'm worried that if I throw these away, I'm going to need them. Away. I'm going to throw them away. Or eat them. It kind of looks like it's not level, which it's not, but I guess I will fix that now. I don't know how, though. Alright, so I've carved, basically I carved this visor out. I added this piece with frosting, and I cut out the basic shape of the helmet. But I think most of this I'm going to have to draw in with some sort of cake marker. And I think that I'm going to have to fill in these cracks with frosting. I don't really know how else to do it. I didn't make a perfect cake. So that's what I'm going to do. And it's a little bit lopsided, but you know, it is what it is. Alright, so I came around the back of the cake. And I'm thinking that I need to round that bottom. I think it's too blocky. So that's what I'm doing next. Alright, I cut this off. I'm sure, I haven't watched Cake Boss, but I'm pretty sure he's not using this knife. But this is the only knife I'm using, so. It's being refrozen. Who knows what it's going to taste like being frozen 3 times. Alright, so it's back out of the freezer. And I've got my yellow frosting, I've got my cup of hot water, and a knife. I do not know if this is the way to do it, but this is the way I'm about to do it. I'm going to frost that yellow, hope for the best. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like the way this frosting is going on. I don't really know how to do it. It just keeps leaving holes. I think I gotta try more frosting or something. Alright, so the key here was definitely more frosting, but it still looks bad. So I think once this sort of sets, I have to put the knife in hot water and smooth it out. That's my thought. So my next task is to somehow mix green. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that. I wonder how much frosting that is. 3 greens and 1 yellow. I'm thinking lime green. Alright. I'm going to say right now that icing is a nightmare. Or frosting. Nightmare. Alright, so I'm going to put it in the fridge. I'm going to chill the frosting. And then I'm going to use my hot knife, I think, to smooth it out. Alright, that's the point. Alright, so this is my own invention here. I got a knife with hot water, and I'm going to melt the seams. Oh yeah, that works alright. Oh yeah, that works good. Alright, I'll be back in. Alright, that melting of the frosting really made a huge difference. Huge. Now one area, so if you look at it, you know, it looks pretty good. Then if you go up here, you can see I did not frost that, but it is what it is. I'm not doing it. Alright, now it's time to draw the lines on it. Alright, so I used some black and I drew some lines on it. I also used the yellow. They're not the best lines, but the kids won't care. Alright, so I brought up the Halo logo on the phone. I used to have that. And then, oh, there's Alex in the fridge. I drew it on the back. Quickly put it in the fridge because it looks like it's already dripping. Hopefully it'll freeze that way. Alright, so I took the rest of this frosting and I put it in one of these bakery bag things that the lady at Kroger gave me. And I'm going to clean up the base of the cake, and then I'm going to use this to squirt like a, I don't know, like trim around the bottom of it, so I can cover up the edge of it. We'll see how that goes. Alright, so here is the finished product. I wrote Halo on the back, and Added some lines because it didn't have enough features. I gotta go this way. That's the front. Coolest halo cake ever made in this house. So the flavor of this cake was fantastic. I used vanilla instead of almond, but just because I had kids and who knows what kids like. Anyway, other people have said great recipe. I've tried other Wask recipes and this one's the best. This was amazing. Thanks so much. Hands down my favorite cake recipe ever. And great recipe used this weekend with giant cupcake pan. So look below in the description for links to everything that you need, including much, much better tools than I used.